Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Now, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell, and you'll be notified of my videos. Now, if you are new around here, there's a video previous to this one, which you can click up there, which is where I took the roof off this telehandler, repaired the roof because it was cracked, and quite a bit of it was missing, and primed it, like it looks like on screen. So go and watch that video before you come back to this video. Now, in this video, we're going to tackle mainly the cab. I'll show you exactly what we're about to do in a second, but the plan of attack is to get everything out of the cab pretty much done, ready to be primed and painted in the next video. And it's quite a challenge, this telehandler. It's working out to be way harder than I thought it was ever going to be, and everything's just a bit fiddly and a bit of a mess, and it's more rusty than I thought, and it's just a pain. But yeah, it should be worth it in the end, hopefully, fingers crossed. And if it's not, then I've just wasted a huge amount of time, and I've got to give a big thank you to Cramp, who aren't sponsoring the video but have supplied everything for me to do this project, including all the paint, some parts, all the materials, all the tools to prep stuff, everything basically they have provided, which is very kind of them. So, what are we doing in this video? Removing all the glass, because a bit broken. We are dealing with this mess of wiring. Awful. Look at it. We're removing all the interior panels, switch panels, gear stick levers, covers, and air vents. So, with all that being said, make sure you stick around, watch the video, because we're making a little like that sneak little preview. Should be quite good. Shouldn't be too hard, but you'll have to watch and find out. So here I am removing the window. They were an absolute pain, but the only thing I can recommend is to cut as much of the rubber seal gasket, whatever's holding your window in, cut as much of it out as possible. Oh yes. Completely out with any luck. Oh yes. One window completely out. Wonderful. Right, I'm not sure in what order any of this video is going to be in, so FYI, if it's a bit of a backwards order, just ignore it, it'll all make sense at the end. But yeah, just follow through. It's going to be a bit here, there, back there sort of video, but it will all make sense, and if you watch it for long enough, you'll realise the end goal. Right, the next thing to come off is this vent fan thing. Got a 17 up here. Now, if I'd been clever and looked underneath, I'd realise that this 17 was not what was holding this in, and actually it's a little 10mm was above the 17. But there we go, we live and we learn. Next time, I should look harder. And I'll guess another 17 somewhere else. It's going to be underneath there. I'm just trying to get this air vent off. Still. Ten hours later. Off minus one screw, clamp. Oh, off, thank God for that. Right, now we've got this piece out, let's get it ready for some paint, because it's pretty flaky. Right, you're probably wondering why I'm using a wire wheel and an angle grinder. when I want to paint it? Well, essentially there's so much flaky paint from where moisture's been getting in over the years and has bubbled up all of the powder coat that was currently on it. So in order to remove all the flaky stuff and get rid of the vast majority of the rust, I figured that a wire wheel was the best option. And then once I've wire wheeled everything, I'll go over again and sand it all with probably a 120 grit or something, 320 maybe, just to key it up nicely for some primer. We'll try and get the switches out of this panel, which could be interesting.
Let's get wild, let's get together, let's get wild, let's get together, let's get wild, let's get together. Here's to the good times.
Right, what I would say about these switch panels and most of the things inside the interior of this macro is they're an absolute pain. I don't know whether it's because the moisture's got in and rusted everything kind of solid, but it's a big pain. It was an absolute ball ache taking it apart, but when we reassemble it, I will go into much more detail about getting it all back together, and everything that has been missed out from taking it apart will all be included when it all goes back together. So if that's not a reason to subscribe, I'm not sure what is. Right, moving swiftly on to some electrical shenanigans. So firstly, we've got to remove the fuse holders from the metal bracket that they hold onto. Now these fuse holders aren't the best, some of them are melted and it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. But you will see later in this video that we tidy this mess up a little bit. Now the relay blocks, on the other hand, is a bit of a pain in the arse because every one of them is nut and bolted on there. So it took a while. They were all 8mm bolts and there was about 6 or 7 of them holding on all those relays. I don't know why they couldn't just make it 2 bolts and the whole lot comes off, but there we go. So I removed 2 relays at a time so I didn't lose which way they went, and unbolted them, put the relays back, and then just taped them all together because that's the easiest thing to do in the situation. So after we've removed these relays and fuses, we're going to move on to stripping the rest of the dashboard, which is just the steering wheel and the dash itself.
Simple as my mama said when I was very young. She told me not to worry, son, one day you'll be someone. But here I am at 21, as loaded as a stagecoach shotgun. I'm sorry, mama, please don't look at me.
Right, moving swiftly on to some electrical connections for the joystick controls and everything in between the joystick controls, basically everything that's attached to the seat. Now, these electrical connectors are a pain in my opinion. Now, being that it's an old machine, it's quite simple electrics, but some of it is quite brittle and half stuck together. So the only thing I can suggest is just to be careful. I've had to be mega careful not to break any of these because trying to get replacements would be next to impossible, and I don't fancy rewiring it because painting it is bad enough, let alone having to do a whole bunch of wiring when the wiring on it's already messed up. So colour-coded wires ain't really such a thing on this thing, but there we go. So just gently prying these apart, taking my time, doing it steady and easy. But yeah, so it wasn't that fun, but we got it done in the end. Right, now that's all the electrical connections disconnected from the seat console itself, we can finally remove the seat and the console all as one. It's pretty heavy, to be honest, is probably the best way to describe it, but it is a genuine Macro seat, so it's worth saving. I'm going to get the bottom reupholstered. There we go. One seat out of the Macro. Onwards and upwards. Right, got everything out. Pretty much. We've got to sort all this mess out, but first we'll just hoover this and give it a good tidy.
When I got to Oklahoma, I was 17. My papa taught me how to work, and Lord, he was mean. Working all day in that August heat, and he taught me how to fish. My uncle taught me how to drink. Well, I went to California and I had me a band, and we played in all the bars and all the southern lands. We played all night and we drank for free, all of my boys and me.
Right, moving on from tidying to electrical stuff. Now, it's all a bit of a mess. It could be quite daunting when it's like that. So the plan is I've got some loom tape. I'm just going to loom up whatever is connected to stuff. I'll try and get it as more manageable, and then we'll move on from that to trying to figure out a bit more of where everything should go and where it should be, because at the moment it's just a bit of a mess. But this old loom tape just will make it look factory brand new, like brand new second hand. It's wonderful stuff until you then have an electrical fault and you've got to go through cables and try and find a broken cable or something. But don't worry about that too much. Oh yes. See, so you can just see, this is kind of what it's like before, this is what it will look like after. It just helps group everything together and keep it a hell of a lot more tidy, because ultimately without it, she is a bit of a mess. It's important to keep like separate bits of wiring. You can see that, separate bits of wiring separate, but all you do is just keep taping around it all and then come back to that bit once you've finished off the bit that you're doing. I didn't know how far I was going to get into taking this all apart, but it turns out rather far, because we're in here and nothing's left in it basically. Take the gear stick off in a minute, and that'll be pretty much the cab stripped. I'm tempted to remove the headlining, but I'm not too sure. I probably will, just because I've come this far. What's the point in stopping? You just keep going round and round until you're happy with the kind of end result. It's quite cheap as well, to be fair, for what it is. Relatively an inexpensive tape. Make sure you don't leave any gaps, or else my OCD will go mad. Right, so as far as I'm going to go up that bit for a second. Just do this little bit here. I don't know where these cables go to, they weren't connected to anything, but that's the worst thing. Obviously I took all the switches and panels out, and all I've done is just put a bit of tape around them and labelled them so that I know exactly where they go back, because fault finding electrics is not for the faint-hearted, and it ain't fun. Rather long. Right, that being said, I'm going to keep doing this and get this to some organised chaos.
Now I'm 23 and there ain't nobody who can drink it like me. Soon I'll be 24 and the Lord knows that I can't drink no more. I know I should have taken it slow. It's not the way that my life goes. Now I know. When you're passed out on the floor, you're sober by 24. Well, I had a girl who loved me the whole damn time, and I drank my whiskey and she drank wine. Soon my bottle was too much to comfort me. Yeah, we'd sit on the river and we'd fish all day, and we'd drive across.
Right, boys and girls, got the cab completely stripped. It's actually quite a bit worse than I thought. Let me go grab a torch. Right, torch found. It's fairly rusty. Now, I was half expecting it to be quite rusty, but it's quite a bit worse than I thought. It's not really rotten through anywhere, it's just rather rusty. But that is as far as I'm going to strip the cab. Obviously all the glass is out, headlining's completely out, all the wiring has come out, which is a whole subject in itself. We'll go have a look quick, shall we? Let me show you this wiring mess. The jungle of wiring, lovely. It was all a lot worse than that, picture on screen. But I've just put some cheap old loom tape, you would have seen that. And then I have sanded or wire wheeled all of these interior trim pieces. So you've got the console there, which obviously takes the joystick and everything. Bits like a fuse holder, little cover, which is a bit rot, but I'm not going to fix that. Gear stick, all of the tunnel system, the air vents, all of that is ready to be primed in the morning, which is good. But like I say, it's a bit worse than I thought it was, so obviously I've got to get in here, wire wheel everything off and get it back to some sort of clean metal that I can actually work with. Some of it, like these bits here, will probably just sand, you know, that's pretty much new, but obviously above there it's all rot. And it just needs a little bit of love, as one would say, really. So that's the plan for that. So we've done quite a bit in this video. I don't know, like I say, it's probably been a bit here, there and everywhere, but hopefully it will all make sense to where we're at with it. This is as far as we're getting in this video, so the next video will be painting all of the trims, painting all of the tunnel that holds the steering box and everything else, all the panels, the seat base and the arm. We'll paint all of that, and we will hopefully get this cab in primer. I'd like to get it in primer, and then we can move on to some other stuff once some cab's done. Decided the boom's coming off. I'm going to take the whole boom off and deal with that separately from the vehicle, because it's going to be easier, and should just make the whole process a little bit more straightforward. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell because you'll be notified of the next video on this lovely machine. And leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments, and hopefully we will be getting somewhere fairly soon. Just before you go, if you click here, there's a video, and there, a video.